Okay, so sorry I had to charge my battery, so I know you missed some of the first steps. So it's all painted clean white basically, and then I'm just using various water-based type tempera paints of different shades of brown. Basically put them on a plate like this, use the brush, use a bit of water, got the color I wanted, and just dabbed it all over this thing. All right, so that's kind of the first stage, the first color. As it starts to get dry and fray, that's really kind of gives that real cool look. I'm going to be using burlap and stuff too to get the textures, and then wiping it all down and building up the layers. So just going to add a little bit more water. I want to keep this alive as much as I can. Don't want it to completely dry out, so I want to better blend into my next color. So I'm going to be going a little bit darker using more of this brown, keeping kind of with the earth tones. You want to make sure you mix enough that you can apply all over the helmet. Tricky part is when you do the armor to match these colors. So again, it's just kind of starting in some of these lower areas. Now when I start to wipe this all down, it's going to blend in. Some parts will stay, some parts will go. I've really tried to look at the pictures as much as I could to try to remember where some of this dark color is, and I mean, this helmet is fairly clean, well, it will be, but there's just these few areas that have the dark browns and blacks. Like I said, most of this is going to get wiped away. But I just need to make sure I'm covering most of the areas a little heavier than what I would want to keep it, just so that I know when basically I'm going to take like the burlap or a rag and start to wash away, that some of this remains. So you can kind of see the difference as it starts to dry out. It just kind of gives like a really cool technique or texture to it. Again, painting the underside. I know you're looking at this right now saying, oh my gosh, this looks silly. It looks horrible. It doesn't look anything like the movie. You're right. It's all these steps, all these layers you got to do to achieve that final look that you go, huh, wow, what do you know? It does kind of look like what I saw on screen. So I'll let that dry just a little bit, and then I'll move into my black. Actually, I think it's drying in pretty well here almost. So just a little bit more on the side. Let that dry, and then I'll add in some black. Alright, so I'm going to add a little more black to this. Not going to go completely. I just want to have more of a darker brown really at the moment. It kind of has a little gray tone because of the grime. So it's not quite a true black, but it's pretty dark. So it almost looks black when some of those crevices there. Now is when I'm going to try to put in some of those dark spots so that when I wash away, it stays down in those lower recessed areas. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. This is just how I'm doing it. like I said, most of this is going to come off. Like literally probably 50% of this is going to wash off. But I know it sounds kind of weird, then why are you applying it? Well, it's just going to, the removal process is kind of more of what gives it that realism, I think. So that it's, if it was real grimy and it got washed away, this is how it would happen. I'll put this on a little thicker. Alright, let me turn this over. And the nice thing about being able to remove this is if I think I've removed too much, I can add it back in. It's, you know, it's a back and forth process of adding, removing until you get to what you like. If you like, okay, maybe that was a little shade off, maybe I need a little darker shade or a lighter shade or whatever you think. That's kind of the nice process, nice thing about this process. So there you go. A little in there. So there we go. That's basically the look I'm going for at the moment. Okay, I'll let that dry just a little bit. All right, so Brillo pad, I've been just kind of messing with that. Paper towel and just a regular kind of like shop rag, just to kind of see different ways to remove it, what it does. So just, I think I actually removed too much here, but kind of gives you an idea. You just wet it a little bit and start to remove it kind of like an eraser. Like I said, you can do this multiple times and add and remove and add and remove. So you like the final look that you're going for. Hopefully you're trying to maybe achieve the look that you see on screen. It's usually what I try to go for, and looking for that realistic kind of effect. And I think they capture that really well in Rogue One. That helps me kind of see what's being left behind. So I'm going to keep doing that and then show you what it all looks like.